we expect you back in the ring?
I'm getting closer and closer to being back in the ring. I'm looking at early July for me to make my next appearance in the ring.
You were at the fight with Ryan Garcia, confronted him afterwards in the ring. What did you make of all that?
Oh, you know, we're just still building up the fight. I think that's a fight that a lot of the fans would love to see, and it's getting closer and closer to happening. And we're just going to keep building it and keep building it, and sooner or later, it will happen.
Eddie, I think everybody agrees that Devin Haney has the potential to be a pound-for-pound type star. How do you build him into one of those mainstream type of stars?
Well, I think he's getting there. You know, from when he joined us and joined the Zone, I think his profile has risen incredibly. Of course, a couple of great victories as well. And there's no harder worker outside of the ring. I'm not even talking about in the gym, but I'm talking about building his profile, building his brand, understanding what it takes on the promotion side than Devin Haney. We say in England, he would go to the opening of an envelope, you know, and that's what he'd do to push himself, to grow, to learn. And him and Bill do a great job. The great thing about Devin Haney is at 21 years of age, most people would say him and Ryan Garcia, wow, that can be built into a super fight. These guys have so much confidence and so much belief. There's no building to do. That fight for me should come in November, December. We believe that DAZN and Joe would get behind that fight. They're going to have to get their checkbook out, which we know they'll do for these big fights. But for me, Devin Haney against Ryan Garcia is a super fight, and I really hope we get that. I think Devin's going to be boxing around June, July time. I think Ryan Garcia may go on the Canelo card. After that, let's just do it. Let's just roll into a huge fight. They're willing to take the risk, and I think fans will respect two outstanding young fighters getting in the ring at such an early stage in their career.
All right, I want to turn it back to the main event we have here on Saturday. You got Mikey Garcia jumping up again at welterweight. Eddie, you have, I've said this, I've written this before. I mean, I've chased girls in high school less than you chased Mikey Garcia. Like, you were just have been all over him for a long period of time. You get him.
The difference is I got there.
That's true. That's not a good number of years for me. But his decision to stay at welterweight, fighting this fight against Jessie Vargas, what do you think of it?
I just think Mikey Garcia is a guy that loves to be challenged. I mean, you know, I sat down with him, 2 years ago to try and, I was telling him about DAZN. He was sort of looking at me like I was mad. What is this, you know, new idea that you've got? And as time went on, as the big fights landed, as the huge names joined the platform, he started to listen more, and eventually we got our guy. I think it's no secret that 140 pounds is the optimum weight for Mikey Garcia. The problem with Mikey Garcia is when you tell him it's not possible, he goes completely the other way. So when people tell him that he's not a welterweight and he can't become a 5-division world champion, he just wants to prove them wrong. This fight is a pure 50-50 fight, and the closer it gets, more people believing Jessie Vargas can win this fight. He's had the best camp ever. People worried about him coming back to 147. He has made the weight so well. He is so fired up, pumped up for this fight. And this fight is going to tell us everything we need to know about Mikey Garcia in the welterweight division. He lost to Errol Spence. He says things didn't work out then, no excuses, but he has his reasons. But let's see if he can actually go and win a welterweight world championship. If he can beat Jessie Vargas in style, I think there's an argument that he can become a world champion. But Jessie Vargas is so pumped for this fight. It's such a wonderful fight. You know, Jessie told me at the start of this promotion that it would be like Morales against Barrera. I said, that's strong words, leave that for me to say. He said, I promise you're going to get everything in this fight. I'm going to put it all on the line.
10 more minutes.
You've got a 4-division world champion against a 2-division world champion. We're going to have over 10,000 in there tomorrow night. It's going to be absolutely jumping. What a card. Yafai Chocolatito, Julio Cesar Martinez against Jay Harris. You know, this man here making his heavyweight return to the ring. Israel Madrimov in a world championship eliminator. Pacheco, Espino, and there's a lot of people who are calling Mikey Garcia's name. You know, this man here, he just wants the Garcia this year. Ryan or Mikey, he's not bothered. But, you know, I've made no secret that our preference, if Mikey Garcia would be triumphant, is to make that Manny Pacquiao fight in July.
Joe, one of the things that he's done with this fight, I think the Pro Grey Hooker fight as well, the depth of the card is really good. You know, this one is excellent. Are these the types of fights you want to see as the guy that stands there to approve them?
Absolutely, that was the commitment we 2 years ago, 3 years ago maybe now, got around the table and started talking about that, and that's what boxing in this country needs. Our view is there are too many cards being put together with only the main event of interest. It obviously helps ticket sales, it helps local ticket sales, and it helps us as a broadcaster give a 4 or 5 hour broadcast. And gives you something to talk about live on air for a longer period of time than you otherwise would. So yeah, we're massively in support of that strategy. It's worked for Eddie tremendously in the UK. It helps people grow their profile. It gives reason for fans to come to the arena early, and it gives us as a broadcaster more to talk about, more to play with. So we're absolutely committed to that, and we look forward to continuing to invest in that with Eddie.
All right, Eddie mentioned Devin Haney and Mikey Garcia. You guys squared off a little bit earlier this month. What do you think of Mikey's decision to fight at 147? I mean, you know as well as anyone, they do make weight classes in boxing for a reason.
Well, yeah, they definitely make weight classes in boxing for a reason, but I feel like Mikey is daring to be great, and that's what it's all about. You know, he wants his name to be in the history books when it's all said and done, and these are the type of things that you need to do for that to happen.
So you come back this summer. If you have the option, just hypothetically, Mikey Garcia or Ryan Garcia, what's a more important fight to you?
That's a tough one. That's like Eddie said, just any Garcia, because both of those fights are huge. I would make a ton of money with either one of those fights. The fans would love to see them. Either one.
Your father said, in an argument that was against Bernard Hopkins after that Ryan Garcia fight, that you are headed to 140. Do you think that's going to happen in the near future?
The only fight that I would go up to 144 as of now is Mikey Garcia. There's so much, great fights to be made at 135. It would make no sense for me to go up to 140 unless it was a Mikey Garcia type of fight.
So you're looking forward to defending your title and maybe getting it back against the winner of Luke Campbell, Javier Fortuna, which is also April 17th.
Most definitely.
All right, well, good luck to that, Devin. Joe, good luck to you tomorrow night. Eddie, Joe, thank you for being up here joining us. Everybody out there, thank you for listening for this period of time. And Saturday night, live on DAZN, Mikey Garcia, 147 pounds against Jessie Vargas.